Hey everyone, this is acyuta-bhava from Nightlight Astrology. Happy Monday, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at your sun and rising sign horoscopes for the month of August. And we're going to be taking a look in particular at the conjunction of Mars and Uranus through all 12 sun and rising signs. So I hope that you will find it useful. I think this is easily the most powerful transit of the month. I am in the midst of curriculum development for a couple of new programs at the moment. So I gave a little bit more attention to the overview for August than I will monthly horoscopes, but I still think that this is going to give you a really powerful delineation for your sun or rising sign that should really adequately address some of the big themes of the month. So this is a very unusual transit in that you're getting a rare conjunction of Mars, Uranus, and the North Node all at once. That's not something that happens every day. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Don't forget to like and subscribe before we get into it. Share your comments. Click on the notification bell for updates. You can always find transcripts of my daily talks on my website, nightlightastrology.com, where next week we will be starting to promote 2 new classes. There will be a 2023 Planet and Plant Moon Circle that my wife and I are leading. For every new and full moon, we'll have gatherings where we're working with plant teachers and also talking about the astrology of the month. And that should be a really fantastic program. So that'll be live next week. I'll be promoting it. And we will also, there's also a masterclass series that I will be starting and coming up pretty soon. And that will be quarterly, sort of a quarterly masterclass series for people who may not want to dive into a full 1-year program or who are looking for maybe more specific topics that they're interested in, or for people in my programs who want more on topics that we cover in the course, but that I could easily create a lot more focused content on. So hopefully it'll be something for everyone. At any rate, that is all I have to say about that. Let's go ahead and get into our horoscopes for the month. These are going to be short and sweet. I am really pressed for time at the moment with all of the when you're launching 2 big new courses. There's just a ton of work that's going on right now. So again, I apologize if I'm sort of giving lighter treatment this month than I usually would. Lots of good stuff for this month and this week to come, though, and I do think again that you guys will find lots of value in what we're going to say about these transits. So with that, let's start with Aries. We're going to be looking at Mars, Uranus, and the North Nodes, triple conjunction through all 12 sun and rising. So this would be for Aries sun or Aries rising signs. You're going to notice, if you're in Aries, that this triple conjunction is taking place in your 2nd house. The topics or themes to watch for are going to center around money, finances, resources, business, things like that. This is a great sign of the need for financial independence or to liberate yourself from some form of unhealthy dependence, like I owe people money or I rely on other people. It has that feeling of putting your flag in the ground and saying, I am my own best resource. I am going to invent something. I'm going to find a way. I am going to make sure that no one controls me, that I am in control of my own destiny, especially when it comes to the things I want or need or have or own, my bank account, and my business. So a very strong theme around financial independence or a rapid, quick invention around business or a transformation of circumstances around money and finances, that probably with the idea of greater freedom behind it. So those to me are the major themes to watch for if you're an Aries rising. Let's go along to Taurus rising. If you are a Taurus sun or rising, then we're looking at this triple conjunction in your 1st house. This has to do with body, mind, character, personality. So whether you're saying, you know what, I've had enough, I'm going to become fit, or I'm going to go to the gym more often, or if you are becoming ultra competitive about something, the need to feel free, we look at Aries, it has a lot to do with resources and financial independence. This is like existential. I need to be free. I don't give a damn what people think. That's the mood of Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in the 1st house. It can be a little provocative. You got to be careful that you're not becoming a bully or, bulldozing over people, the bull words. But if there is a need to assert yourself this is a good time for you to make choices based on what you need and what you think and what you feel, and not what other people expect from you. Within reason. Within reason, meaning that you don't act in a way that is harmful or destructive or domineering toward other people in the process. Very easily, this is like rebellious, eccentric energy that could be destructive. It's also the kind of thing that is about breaking through personal limitations and barriers psychologically to become more fully yourself. So I like that for Taurus risings. I feel like I'm sort of feeling that energy myself as a Taurus rising. Okay, so let's go forward to Gemini rising. This is one of the more potentially challenging placements of Mars, Uranus, and the North Node. We're putting it into your 12th house. Now, that is a place that often consists of our shadows, or the things that we don't see, our blind spot. So if you are someone who, this could be about conflicts that you don't see coming. This could be about self-destructive or rebellious or sort of eccentric energies within yourself that get you in trouble right now. This could also be about that unexpected thing that comes from it comes in the blind spot in life, but it's from someone else. It's from someone at work, or it's an unexpected situation that comes up around family or home or relationships. It will have the tendency in the 12th house to throw you off your game, or to get you to overreact or to react impulsively. So be very aware of that this month. But this is also about, on the positive side, a lot of things that exist in our blind side are simply unincorporated energies that, they're like aspects of our own psyche that we don't know, or that we have not yet been aware of to the point where we can make meaningful use of them in our lives. So radical, willful, eccentric, kind of bravado energy. Maybe there's something that's more radical, eccentric, assertive, fun, free-spirited that needs to come in and make a claim. It needs a room in your psyche. So give it some if it needs it, but don't let that same energy sabotage you. That is the message for Gemini rising. Let's go to Cancer. So for Cancer rising, we're taking Mars, Uranus, the North Node. We're putting them in the 11th house. Now, this is a place of groups, friends, colleagues, companions in life that share similar goals or dreams or visions, especially on the professional path, but maybe religious or spiritual. So you think here about the need to break from a group, or independence around a group, or some kind of unexpected or dramatic sudden turn within a group. I think that if you're Cancer rising, you could see some real drama in different social or professional or religious communities that you belong to. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some schisms or splits, or if there was like a fight between people. Like, that doesn't have to be physical, but like some kind of debacle. Steer clear of that. If you don't want to get engaged, don't feel like you have to. I feel like this energy could tempt you into feeling like, I need to be heroic and go do something within a group, or set the record straight, or something like that. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. The reason I'm saying that, you also got Venus in your first house making a sextile to that energy, could give you the feeling that I should go and be the peacemaker, or I should do something. I think you could also find that you're being saved from some kind of group or collective drama. And that there's a feeling of like, wow, I could have gotten really wrapped up in something, but I was sort of saved from the worst. I think this is also about, your sense of belonging, and how much you need to be your own person amidst groups of people, and how much you need to belong, and the tension between those two things. So watch for those themes if you're a Cancer rising. All right, let's go ahead to Leo rising. We're now putting this in your career house. This is Mars, Uranus, and the North Node, which is basically, the North Node's basically putting things on steroids, right? So we now have this triple conjunction. It's in your 10th house of career. This is about doing and becoming something independent, breaking the mold at work, charting a new path for yourself professionally, suddenly changing jobs. This is about a sudden confrontation with authority in the workplace, or a tension that's been rising to the surface over a while, that is now expressing itself within the workplace. I would watch for erratic, conflict-oriented energy in the workplace, and defiance and challenges to tradition and authority as a potential downside. Like, I'd be really sort of careful about that. But I would also say that, it's a great time to do something new and original, to be daring and pioneering and inventive. Those energies are going to present themselves in the workplace for you as a Leo rising. All right, let's go on to Virgo rising. We are now looking at this triple conjunction, Mars, Uranus in the North Node in your ninth house, place of religion, belief, spirituality, mysticism, higher learning, as well as travel abroad. Could you be suddenly taking a trip, or could there be some kind of really provocative, life-changing experience while traveling abroad? I could see that. I could also see the choice to go back to school or to study something, or something that you are studying providing you with a kind of impetus or vision or inspiration to, strike out on your own or do something original or change your life in some way. Sometimes we're inspired by something we're learning to the point where it's like, oh my God, this is changing my whole life. I need that. That happened to me when I started studying astrology, for example, and I was having some Uranus activity to my ninth house. It's amazing how that Uranus in the ninth house with Mars can be like a vision somehow, mystically, spiritually, psychologically, that just changes the paradigm. So I would look for that, as well as, potential for like radicalism or fanaticism to be fueling the conversation. I would be careful of that energy within yourself or around you, sort of like fanatical extremism, especially in the name of like progress. I would be very careful of a self-righteous energy sort of boiling in the ninth house right now. But also it is about a breakthrough philosophically or mentally that's there to be had. All right, so let's go forward to Libra. We are now taking the Mars-Uranus energy along with the North Node of the Moon and placing it in the eighth house. To me, this is a time of becoming free from debts and obligations. This transit, this triple conjunction, has the look of like, free yourself from debts, burdens, obligations, things that entangle you with other people in an unhealthy way. On the other hand, could you be meeting someone or getting in touch with a new person or resource coming from someone else that serves to free you or liberate you? For example, getting a loan or getting a grant, or meeting someone who decides that they will, refer you to someone else. I could see allies that provide sudden breakthroughs that actually help you do more of what you want to do. But there is the potential for kind of like a devil's bargain always in the eighth house. So beware of that. All right. Well, that's what I'm seeing for my Libra risings and Libra suns out there. Let's go forward to Scorpio. And now we're getting into the seventh house. Really interesting when these planets come together in a house like the seventh, I think. Mars, Uranus in the North Node in the seventh house. This is a breakthrough in romantic relationships around sexuality. Could this be that there is a need for experimentation, separation, independence, such that a breakup is happening? Or could there be trying something new? Or could there be some kind of rapid, sudden, inspiring progress within an existing relationship, like you're evolving as a couple very rapidly? I think so. I think the other potential here is for there to be like, sudden breaking or sudden confrontation about differences in values. So I would, but I think, just think revolution that's pretty charged and action oriented in the house of love and relationships if you're a Scorpio rising. All right, let's go to Sagittarius. So for Sages, we're looking at this in the sixth house. That's that's a challenging place, another challenging place, just like Gemini's had it in the 12th. This triple conjunction in the sixth house could be about something like frustrating, like a sudden frustration or impediment or block or challenge or conflict that arises. It could be with health or body. It could also be in relationships where certain kinds of conflicts arise. So I'd be very cautious about that and just, sort of tread carefully around places that feel like fault lines. There's kind of an earthquake energy in this house for you. And it is a house that was associated with conflict, sickness, disease, frustration. On the other hand, this house was also associated with hard work. So could we see some kind of breakthrough around something you've been working on, or inventing the solution to a problem, or even finding, like Mars Uranus in the sixth house is also like fighting the good fight and having the inspiration and motivation to power through something and effectively get it done because you get this burst of enthusiasm. Is it fun work? No, but it leads somewhere and it might be very rewarding in the end. That's the tendency of the sixth house. All right, let's go forward to to Capricorn rising. Now, for my Capricorns out there, this is happening, this triple conjunction, Mars, Uranus in the North Node, in your fifth house, place that was called good fortune in the joy of Venus. It's a place associated with romance, joy, creativity, fun, pleasure, sex, procreation, children, pregnancy, etc. Could there be a surprise? I'm pregnant with this energy? Yes, but it might be a little shocking and unexpected, or somehow more of a difficult piece of news with Mars in the mix. On the other hand, this energy is very playful and defiant. Could there be a theme of creativity and rebellion this month, or innovation and pleasure? Like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see some people getting some sex toys. My Capricorns could be exploring with a kind of provocative, pleasure-oriented energy this month. So whether it's the inventive, revolutionary energy is being applied to pleasure, creativity, or if it's something that's coming back around the topics of children or pregnancy, I think that there's a lot of reason to be excited about this. The one thing I would be careful of is sort of reckless hedonism. If you have kids, there could be kind of a rebellious moment for kids. Maybe, if you're getting pregnant, like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this. It's not the easiest thing. I have to adapt. Like Mars, Uranus, can be like sort of like shocking developments where, okay, I suddenly have to revise my whole plan of action. But mostly in the fifth house, you're talking about joyful things. So I have a pretty good feeling about this one. But this is one where there's one per month where I'm like, I really want to hear back about how this turns out. So Capricorns out there, tell me how you're doing. All right. We're going forward to Aquarius rising, which places the triple conjunction in the fourth house. Now, this is the place of home, family, roots, foundations, parents. So this is typical, energy when you see a little family drama. Could there be a divorce in the family, a sudden announcement of marriage, or a child being born, but it's out of wedlock and the parents are offended by that or something? I'm not saying I am. I'm just, or could there be a sudden move, or could there be damage to a house because of a hailstorm or something? Kind of sudden drama around family and home is what I think is the most challenging dimension of this transit. The most exciting would be sort of like revolution at the roots, a sudden shift that's exciting and compelling around family, home, living environment. That's what I would watch for toning the month of August. So that's for my Aquarians. All right, let's push forward. Last but not least, our fishes out there, Pisces, sun and rising. You've got the triple conjunction in your third house. It's a place of your neighborhood and your environment, but that environment includes your mind and your emotional and mental life as well. So it's kind of like this nebulous house in the sense that it's really about the environment around you, more of the personal, familiar environment around you, like neighborhood, or the kinds of things floating around the ethers in your mind and moods, and like local space. For this reason, I could see there being like almost like a manic energy mentally and emotionally this month for Pisceans, which could be very fun and productive and creatively fulfilling. Like a lot of inventive ideas can come from a transit like this, but also like you could be a little bit more stressed out and maybe a little bit more anxious than usual, a little bit more prone toward conflict, or feeling more easily offended or triggered. So I'd be a little bit careful about that. You could also look at this and say, look, the potential for like conflict or change in the neighborhood around you or with siblings. But I also like this in terms of it being just like a provocative, fun, playful energy. Really good for people who are like writers or content creators, or people who are wanting to mobilize a new set of ideas or thoughts about how to do business. So I think I like this idea of mental, stimulating, mentally charged energy that could be very productive and original. The downside would be mental stress, or kind of like a tendency toward a sort of volatile reactivity mentally, verbally, emotionally in the environment this month. So just be a little bit careful about that. All right. Well, that concludes what I have to say about my sun and rising sign horoscopes for August. I hope that this has been useful for you, that you are able to get something out of this. I would really love to hear your stories. So this month in particular, don't forget to share your stories using the hashtag grabbed on this video. Come back to it. or email them to us, grabbed@nightlightastrology.com. That would be really awesome. Because then we can hear about, I think there's going to be a ton of grab stories around Mars Uranus. I bet you, given its location in my own chart, I'm fully expecting there might be there too. All right. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe, share your comments, click the notification bell for updates. You can know when I'm going live or, when I've done a new talk or whatever. You can always find transcripts of my daily talks on the website. I know some people people don't know this, but for like 6 years, all of my horoscopes that I do like this every single day were written. I tell you, it took a lot longer because, writing takes longer, editing, everything like that. But some people say like that they miss them. So, I try to create a transcript every day so that if you really like that, you can still follow along. All right. Well, if you have any questions about the new courses, stay tuned. We'll be presenting them next week. That'll be the 2023 planet and plant moon circles that we're doing. We got some, hopefully we're going to run a pre-registration sale, and then we have need-based tuition too for people. So hopefully it'll be really accessible. And then I've got some master classes coming out as well. I'm really excited about those. So stay tuned for those next week. And I hope you guys have a great month of August, and stay tuned for more tomorrow. Bye, everyone.